You can finance a house, a car, a TV, and now even a Costco hot dog. Buy now, pay later. This is the business model of Klarna, and this company is everywhere. Every online store, every website. The Swedish startup raised billions in funding, has millions of customers, and even celebrity ads. Yet somehow, they're dying. How did Klarna seem to take over the world, yet secretly can't turn a profit themselves? Our story follows one important man, Sebastian Siemiatkowski. In the early 2000s, Sebastian was working in debt collection. Not a flashy job, but he stumbled upon a common problem. His clients kept saying the same thing. We're going to stop selling on invoices because we don't get paid. There's too much credit loss. Essentially, customers were buying, but when it came time to pay, they couldn't. Businesses were eating a loss, but there seemed to be a solution. Sebastian's clients said to him, "If you guys can take the risk, we'll let you handle the transactions." Quickly, the gears in Sebastian's mind began to turn. If someone could pay it upfront for the customer, they could charge on the transaction and chase the customer's debt themselves. Win for the merchant and win for the debt collector. Sebastian pitched the idea to his company, but they weren't interested. So he quickly quit his job and in 2005 enrolled in the Stockholm School of Economics with his friends Niklas Adalberth and Victor Jacobsen. These three were the co-founders of Klarna. They entered the school's entrepreneurship competition, but people didn't seem to get it. One of the judges said it would never work, and if it would, banks would just do it themselves. The trio believed in the idea, but no one else did. Worse still, the three were students, and students are broke. But then, their salvation came from Jane Wallerud, a famous Swedish angel investor. She offered them a solution, but the price was heavy. 60,000 euros seed money for 10% of the company. Jane would also provide 5 tech staff to build the platform for 9 months in exchange for another 37% of the company. This was a lot of equity and not much funding. But it seemed like there was no other way. Niklas Adalbert said, "It was a tough decision, but we realized that we wanted to build something big. And we needed to give a lot of shares to enable it." Klarna was born, and very quickly, the startup began to boom. Venture capital poured in, from millions to tens of millions to hundreds of millions, and soon even billions. They were ranked as one of Sweden's top 5 unicorns, and at the head of it was Sebastian. And with the rise of Klarna, we also saw the rise of buy now, pay later. But how does it even work? Imagine you're a business owner. You add Klarna to your checkout and pay them 3 to 6% as a commission. They then offer the customer the option to buy now and pay in installments, pay in 30 days, or financing options up to 36 months. The most common use, though, is paying in 4 installments. Buy now, pay later with no interest. From a shirt to a nice watch to even a Costco hot dog. When a customer buys with Klarna, Klarna pays the merchant for that product, and then Klarna handles the customer. And quickly, it was everywhere. They offered smooth ordering, and they weren't alone either. Similar companies like Afterpay, Laybuy, and Affirm were popping up, and giants like PayPal were jumping in. From 2019 to 2021, the number of buy now pay later loans in the US grew by 970%, from 16.8 to 180 million. The dollar volume grew by 1,092%, from $2 billion to $24.2 billion. It was a buy now, pay later revolution. In total, Klarna raised over $4 billion in funding across 22 rounds. By 2025, they had partnered with over 724,000 merchants and passed 100 million active users. Yet, something about all of this seems off. There's a darker side to this startup. Buy now, pay later sounds convenient and fun, but I would actually call Klarna everyday debt. Instead of financing big purchases like a car or a house, it's now everything. Most of the time, it pushes customers to think, I'll deal with the consequences later and get the thing I want now. A lot of the time, these are the more financially vulnerable people. They're often already in credit card debt and might not be financially literate, but Klarna doesn't mind and is suspiciously easy to join. The list of information required from the applicant is short. Name, address, phone number, email, date of birth. Some lenders request the last 4 digits of social security number. Then, Klarna does a soft pull for credit info that doesn't impact your score. So joining Klarna doesn't affect your credit, which makes it alluring to join right now. It also means you'll likely borrow more money than you should. They also make things like loan terms or filing disputes extremely confusing or have large hurdles. If you do get into the habit of using Klarna, the multiple payments don't line up. Consumer Financial calls this stacking, which can occur when a borrower takes out two or more concurrent buy now, pay later loans from different lenders. While each individual loan may be manageable, the sum of those concurrent debts may lead to financial stress. You'll be juggling multiple payments every single week with automatic deductions. These services don't check your activity on other platforms, so if you're swamped in one like Klarna, others like Afterpay will still happily give you debt. Klarna's plans are interest-free, but if you're late on a payment, you'll be charged $7. If you've gotten into stacked debt, those are going to add up fast. This is how they make a huge chunk of their revenue, you missing your payments. A study this year found that 41% of customers had been late on a payment, up from last year. That brings us to Klarna's financing options, which charge interest. Most credit cards have an annual percentage rate of 23.99%. Klarna's can go as high as 35.9%. Klarna seems more convenient and more fun than credit cards, but it's actually worse. They were even dragged into court for charging €1.20 just for a reminder email. So, with all of that said, how is Klarna actually doing? Despite being absolutely everywhere, they themselves seem to be in their own trap. At a glance, you might think they're doing well. They reported $700 million in revenue in Q1 of 2025. In fact, their EBITDA says they made $3 million in profit. EBITDA refers to earning before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization. It's a useful tool for businesses, but here, Klarna's adjusted operating profit leaves out a lot of context. But Klarna sounds pretty confident. They just passed 100 million active users after all. Sebastian said that the momentum is undeniable. We're outpacing competitors, our merchant network is scaling rapidly, and our next-gen products are reshaping money management for millions. They reported that the longer customers use Klarna, the more often they use it. From 2x a year when they sign up, to as high as 18x a year after 6 years. That's a lot of repeating customers, a lot of fees, and a lot of debt, not just for customers, but also for Klarna. This is the root problem. While Klarna was luring people into debt traps, they fell into one themselves. Customer credit losses increased by 17%, totaling $136 million. This means more customers are failing to pay back. Klarna pays merchants upfront using their own debt. With fewer customers repaying, Klarna's debt is getting more expensive. Debt financing expenses climbed to $130 million in Q1 2025, up 15%. $130 million cost of debt for just one quarter. While Klarna's EBITDA profit was $3 million in Q1 2025, their net loss was actually $99 million. What's even stranger is, their revenue is up $80 million from this quarter last year, yet their losses almost doubled. Despite Sebastian's optimism, doubling your losses in just 1 year while making more money isn't a good outlook. And it's not just Klarna. All buy now, pay later companies are feeling this. Good EBITDA profits, but mountains of liabilities and losses behind the scenes. Klarna has been trying to cut costs, and the big one was staff. The solution? AI. Klarna didn't hire anyone in 2024 because, in Sebastian's words, AI can already do all of the jobs that we as humans do. It's just a question of how we apply it and use it. Yet, just the next year, Klarna walked back this stance and began hiring again. Turns out their over-reliance on AI didn't bring a return. One of the saving graces Klarna was looking to was their IPO. Go public, raise huge amounts of funding, shareholders are happy. This was supposed to happen in early 2025, but it didn't. Supposedly because of tariffs, Klarna postponed. But when a company files for an IPO, everything is on the table, and some hidden financials might have revealed how badly Klarna was doing, prompting them to push back the IPO. Klarna sounds great on paper. Get your item now, pay it off later, sounds like a life hack. But it just entices more people into debt which they can't get out of. It might be a good solution to merchants and businesses, but it's harming a lot of people. There are even issues I didn't have time to talk about, like them collecting information from customers who never even signed up, or how some users could view other customers' accounts and personal details. And let's not forget about Sebastian's strange LinkedIn controversies. It sounds tempting, but I'd recommend avoiding Klarna or Afterpay. Just pay for the things you buy in cash, and you'll be better off long term. Ironically, companies often don't follow this advice themselves, and sometimes get buried in as much as $100 billion in debt.